aboard for the Scrapheap Express. Here we go, ma'am. Mind the gap. Oh.
Well, I know there's been budget cuts on the railways, but this is ridiculous.
Hang on to your hat, ma'am. Here we go. Nice and steady. Welcome to Scrapheap Challenge, where two teams of irrepressible recyclers conjure mechanical magic from our tip full of tat.
Running out of puff won't be an option this week as we challenge our teams to build train locomotives. But there's a cruel twist. The teams themselves will be providing the horsepower. That's right. They'll be going red-faced in a head-to-head for all-out speed and then digging deep to pull a load of sand.
Ever since railways were invented, we've built human-powered trains, and every industrialised nation has come up with their own unique contraptions, which, to this day, are still shown and raced at international festivals. So let's find out who's going to be taking on this back-breaking challenge.
Downright one are a team of down and dirty rugby players from Seaford in East Sussex. As three of their club's most fearsome forwards, they'll have the opposition quaking in their boots. First in the scrum down is a Liverpudlian, Captain Scouse, whilst the scavenging line-out is led by Jay, who's flanked by the hard-running Paul. Ladies and gentlemen, swing low for the Sweet Chariots.
Tackling them is a team of submarine engineers from Plymouth. With 3 degrees in nautical know-how between them, dealing with pressure is all part of the job. Steering their course is Captain Steve. Scanning the horizon for scrap will be Graham with his partner in brine, Mark. There's no chance of these boys taking a dive because they are the super subs.
Welcome, teams. Today, your challenge is to build trains. Yes! But you can forget about diesel, teams. You can forget about steam. These trains are going to be powered purely by muscle.
Oh, yes, boys, you better puff out your chests because 10 hours is all you've got to build man-powered locos that not only pull hard, but fast.
Come on.
Go on the sound of the gong.
Right, boys, hand-powered trains.
Brain versus brawn, and let's face it.
Any ideas?
We've got to take advantage of our legs. We haven't got the arm strength against those guys.
The first thing you think of is the old westerns with the old pump action, don't you?
I think whatever happens, we need some sort of gearbox.
Bicycle components, possibly.
Expert, please.
We've brought in 2 absolute powerhouse experts to give our teams the best chance of meshing machines with manpower. Getting the Sweet Chariots rolling is a real-life train engineer who volunteers for the famous Bluebell Steam Railway on his days off. Please welcome on board expert Ben Weatherall.
All right, lads.
Right, Ben, how you doing, mate?
All right, what you come up with then?
Oh, well, as you can see, just some ideas we popped in our head.
The only idea the Sweet Chariots have had so far is a crude version of the American handcar design.
Over to you.
Right, you're going to like this.
Luckily, expert Ben conjures up a cunning plan.
What we got is wheel, wheel. This is a bit you're looking like. Man-sized hamster wheel. The motorbike. And then chain off the crankshaft down to the driven axle. And then as many people as possible inside that wheel to make it move. What do you reckon?
Stunned silence. In amazement.
Shock.
Shock, horror.
Are we not complicating it a little bit?
Ben's wild idea is to build a giant hamster wheel, which will turn the rear wheel of a motorbike, sending drive through to the wheels of a supporting chassis. This could be a great way to harness the strength of the powerful chariots. But if things take a turn for the worse, the fur really could start to fly.
You know, don't want to knock it or anything, but we're obviously big blokes and stick us in a cage, you know what I mean? I mean, some of us belong in a cage, but...
The Chariots don't seem crazy about Ben's idea, but for now, it's the only one they've got. Selecting the ratios for the super subs is a man who really knows his cogs from his sprockets. Please welcome gearing specialist John Varro.
Hi. Got some ideas at all at the moment?
We're thinking gearboxes.
4 people need to be sat on it, so we're thinking maybe a car platform chassis.
What about power?
I think cycling.
We know cycling is a very efficient action.
In contrast to the Chariots, John finds the subs are overflowing with ideas.
I think you've been reading my mind or something. My main thought was 4-wheel drive. Keep the engine in there, but strip it to bits so the losses are less. And get a chain drive to the front of it and come back down with bikes on a rolling road.
By using their legs, the super subs will be exploiting their most powerful muscles. They want to fix 4 bikes to a chassis. Pedaling these will turn a shaft, which then turns the defunct engine, sending drive to the wheels. It's a simple idea, but if that chassis isn't super light, the subs may find the sheer effort of moving it sinks them.
OK, chaps.
Shopping list.
We need chains, cogs,
And a motorbike.
4-wheel drive, I think, chaps, is the name of the game.
wheels.
Bicycles.
How many?
4 bikes.
Yeah, very dice.
Fairy dice is a must.
Go get me them bits.
Time's ticking, let's go.
Come on, Mark, let's have it.
Yeah.
Deep into the heap, the subs are unearthing some right old rubbish.
Are you taking it easy in there, gentlemen?
But crafty Magpie Jay has spotted a glinting gem in enemy territory.
Not bad.
I think that was lost cause, wasn't it?
Oh! Do you mind if I just remove this from your
We'll swap you.
camp? What would you like?
A few mountain bikes, I don't know.
As the subs stand well back, Jay scores an early try with an impressive feat of chariot pulling power.
So far, the subs haven't made any scavenging waves, but Graham has stumbled on a big shaft that might really get the boys rolling.
Steve, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, Graham. What you got?
We've currently 3 wheels attached to it, rubber wheels. Could potentially be great for the traction to mount our bicycles on top of.
That sounds fantastic, mate. Can you bring it in?
That old luggage loader roller looks tailor-made for the subs' pedal-powered loco. But these boys usually work with slightly more powerful forms of propulsion. Plymouth in Devon is dry dock for graduate engineers Steve, Mark and Graham. They're here to learn the dark art of nuclear submarine maintenance.
The part about this work that I enjoy the most is that there's a lot of big boys' toys that you get to go and get stuck in on.
But when Graham takes the controls, Steve always disconnects the battery.
Graham's a real bend it, real mend it chap, and he's got his spanners out and he'll fix anything.
Come on, Steve. No lying down on the job.
When he's not asleep, Team Captain Steve is held in the highest regard.
Very focused guy. You get something into his head and get him going, and that's it. It's done.
But when it comes to being a bit mad, it's Mark who's no dummy.
Oh, you guys, you tuned in to Scrapheap Challenge?
Mark is the most crazy guy I've ever met. He thinks he can make anything out of anything, and he normally can.
So the super subs have got their sights on the most important prize.
You can see the pub from here.
Full speed ahead.
We're the super subs, and we're going to blow the opposition out the water.
The subs might know about nuclear reactors under the sea, but they've yet to find even a 2-wheeled bike on the heap.
Graham, how are you, a super sub?
I'm okay, thank you.
Now, you've got what looks like a pretty beaten-up bike going on there. Are you actually going to be able to do anything with that?
What I'm looking for on this is the sprocket set.
OK.
So we're obviously going to use our leg power. We're going to find as many bikes as we can. And all 4 of us are going to be pedalling, and we think together we can get more muscle power than what they've got.
That's going to be pretty hard going, because you've seen them, they're quite big boys.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be easy.
It's quite a big build, isn't it? Do you think you're up to the job?
Can you hear me?
Any news on the Land Rover?
Still looking.
Well, look, I'll get out of the way and let you carry on.
Thank you
Good
very
luck,
much.
Graham.
Cheers, Lisa.
Got Jack.
After their initial doubts about Ben's design, the Chariots have realised it suits their hard tackling style. The steel is piling up. And now Jay's bagged a nice set of wheels.
Guys, found some wheels.
Oh, nice one, mate. Well done.
Those wheels proved to be a real find.
You want to lay it on there? Is that the right pitch?
Even though they're from a London Underground maintenance trolley, they fit our standard gauge track like a dream.
Laughing.
Now the Chariots really are swinging.
What you got, Paul? Nice bit of rolled steel here.
Those massive semicircular girders are just the job for their huge hamster wheel. As the two Chariots steam into the steel, it's easy to see they relish a physical challenge.
A cold night in Seaford on the south coast of Sussex won't stop Jason, Scouse and Paul from bettering their battering as they train at their home from home, Seaford Rugby Club.
We love playing rugby, we love to win, and we hate to lose.
When Plumber Scouse isn't tackling blocks in pipes, he's block tackling on the pitch.
Scouse is so strong, it's unreal.
But car mechanic Paul thinks it's strength of character that'll make him Captain Fantastic.
Scouse, I think, would be a great captain. Just like on the field, he leads from the front, totally committed. If he says he's going to do something, he really does it.
When he lines up for rugby, Paul's reputation is for being quiet but effective.
Paul's a little terrier, and I think he'll be the same on the scrap heap.
Like Scouse, Jay also plies the pipe trade, but it's on the rugby pitch that his most uncompromising work is done.
He's big, he's strong, he's aggressive.
Not that such qualities earn him any respect.
He's got golden locks, and everyone calls him Chantal.
With teammates like these, who needs an opposition?
We're the Sweet Chariots, but there's nothing sweet about us.
I think I've actually got it.
Morning, Jay. Normally there's a sort of crane lifting things like that, but obviously you don't need that.
We're getting there.
Yeah. Then what, this doesn't look very train-like at the moment. What are you after?
This is part of our giant hamster wheel.
Hamster wheel?
Hamster wheel.
What? And that goes on the... What?
3 of us inside a giant hamster wheel running for our lives.
Oh, you're kidding. It's going to be quite a weird experience, though, isn't it? I would imagine.
I mean, it's just a matter of not falling over, I think.
Yeah, that would be bad, wouldn't it? Because hamsters do that, don't they? And they go all the way around.
Top.
Yeah. Because I don't know what have they been used for originally? Would they been?
Well, I think they're part of this Nissan hut structure originally.
Ah, right. Oh, they were holding that up, right?
Yeah, they're part of the roof. So
it's just basically using a bit of shed to make you...
Turn a shed into a wheel.
Turn a shed into a wheel. Well, I better let you get on, because you've got some fairly hefty bits of metal to get
Thank you very much.
A 3/4 of a ton hamster wheel. I mean, you know, it's genius. It's on the cutting edge of scrap heap madness. I mean, I often think the line between genius and idiocy is very hazy, and today it's gone completely misty.
One thing is clear, though, and that's if anyone was ever born to the scrap heap manor, it's Jay. With 3 more great steel arcs like this to come, the charging chariots have already scavenged all the most important components of their build.
Oh, well done.
I'll be back. I'll be back!
Jay might think he's in The Terminator, but next door, it's like an outtake from second-hand Toy Story.
Alright, guys.
We need more of a bike than that.
I think we've got pedals. We may need them later.
What is that?
All right, Graham, speak to Mark. He's found a chassis, but it doesn't think it's a Land Rover.
Captain Steve knows his team need a chassis more than they need bikes to get going.
Ah, that was quick.
Yeah, I noticed this one earlier.
Well, it's got the right sort of track because we need 145.
What is it? Can you tell?
A Suzuki or something?
All right, we're really, really looking for a Land Rover one. So
The sub's captain isn't just being fussy because he loves Land Rovers.
Captain Steve has realised that they have a track width that exactly matches standard rail gauge, and by simply fitting casters to keep it on the tracks, they'll have the perfect platform to build on.
I reckon it's a goer.
Yeah? OK, we'll spend another 10 minutes, but no more, and then if that's all we got, then bring it in.
So the subs carry on their wild caboose chase, but it's costing them valuable time, and they still haven't found one decent bike.
In contrast, the Sweet Chariot stable is brimful of girders, wheels and motorbikes.
It doesn't necessarily have to be perfectly round. If we've got the braces coming out and we could just join them up.
With Chariot Chief Scouse now up for it, he's fine-tuning Ben's revolutionary idea.
Yeah, we'd still have the mesh going round, wouldn't we?
That mesh is not only to add grip for the friction drive, but also to keep in the human hamsters. And crafty Sweet Scavenger Paul has sniffed out piles of the stuff.
Hey, Scouse, I've got some wire mesh in here. It's got a big keep out danger sign on it.
Well, the danger that you're going to hurt yourself getting it out.
I don't think so. Jay's just turned up.
OK, mate, then go for it.
Before we can say off limits, they've snaffled it.
How does he do that? There we go, mesh.
You can have that rabbit you always wanted now.
If we have to use that, then I'm going home.
So far, the subs have been backpedaling as Captain Steve's Land Rover is still a no-show. But with his scrap sonar on full power, a scavenging sub finally finds his target.
Steve, one complete Land Rover. She is a long wheelbase, leaf sprung 109.
Nice one, mate. Bring her in.
That's music to me.
Good work, Graham. Well done, mate.
Oh, she's planted well and good. This will be fun.
Get on!
Right, get her.
That explains why it's heavy.
At last, the subs bring home what was once a lovingly maintained and faithful servant of the road.
Nice.
But once inside the scrap heap body shop of horrors, it's curtains.
With the subs in a frenzy, perhaps it's time to bring some decorum to proceedings by introducing our judge.
Beauty.
He was head of engineering at the National Railway Museum in York. He represented the UK at the World Human Powered Train Festival in Sweden. He expertly guided the Clagsters to victory in our last big railway showdown. Could anyone be more ideal to preside over a challenge to build muscle-powered trains? Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Richard Gibbon, OBE.
Morning, Richard.
Morning, Rob.
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you.
I'm intrigued to know what you think about what is the essential thing that they need to make these work. What you know,
Well,
the
they've got-
kind of base components.
They've got to understand friction, and they've got to understand the gearing, because they've got two different tasks to do. They've got to go fast, light, and they've got to go heavy with a load.
Right.
So both the teams have actually come to the same solution, I suppose, in different ways. The Sweet Chariots are using a giant hamster wheel with a motorbike as the gearbox.
Right.
But they haven't quite got their drive sorted out onto the rail. If we go over to the Super Subs, the whole thing hangs on the Land Rover being the right gauge, the right width between the tracks.
Right.
And it has four-wheel drive, and they've got their drive sorted. They're using rubber wheels.
Right. And that's going to work on metal rails?
Yep, beautifully.
Oh, right.
Because, you know, like a bus can accelerate much faster than a train because it's got rubber wheels, much better friction.
Right.
The Chariots are using a metal wheel on a metal rail, and you know about leaves on the line and slipping. If it's raining during the race, they're going to be in trouble.
Right. But I want you to put your money on one team now. You can change your mind later.
I'll go for the subs.
The subs.
Because their drive system to the rail is better.
Right.
Sweet Chariots, Super Subs, your attention please. You have 6 hours remaining.
Oh, that's all right.
6 hours build time remaining, team.
No problem.
Nearly a third of the 10 hours are gone. But with the parts for a huge drum, a motorbike gearbox, and now some super heavy cogs and chains, the Chariots are all geared up and ready to begin their build.
From Russia with love.
Well, almost.
You never got the grub screw that went in there, have you?
The giant hamster wheel design is a great example of gearing up. With every turn of that huge circumference, the bike wheel rotates 5 times. Then through the motorbike gearbox, turns the drive wheels 56 times. Being geared that highly means they'll fly in the sprint, but could struggle pulling a load. First though, that bike needs the usual scrap heap TLC.
Don't think we'll bother with the Allen keys.
No, we don't need Allen keys anymore.
As they lay out the huge steel circles, the sheer scale of their build dawns on the Chariots.
This is going to be ginormous.
Not that they'll let hard work spoil their fun.
Don't go looking at my weld, you. I'm a lover, not a welder.
Next door, the Submarine engineers have got a decent chassis and a factory-fit shaft. The trouble is, they've yet to bag any decent bikes that have the gears they need to get going.
Oh, that'll do.
But at last, there's some good news.
Looks like I found some off-road bikes. They're not in bad nick either.
Wow, there's loads.
There's loads.
If they can find enough of these mountain bikes with their low-ratio gears, the subs will soon be up to speed.
Guys! Yay! Well done.
So they've got a mountain of bikes, but that Land Rover chassis hasn't measured up to standard rail gauge after all.
Yeah, we're a little bit narrow. As in, it's in danger of slipping in, so...
After a hard life, it's got a hodgepodge of different wheels, and to make it sit on the track, each one has to be given its own bespoke bodge.
We could weld the wheel on.
Take the drum off.
Yeah, take the drum off. Whack it with a hammer.
So they wasted time finding the Land Rover, and now they're wasting more time fixing it.
Oh, this is pitiful. At this rate, I'm bound to miss part 3 of our rail racing extravaganza, where our 2 teams finish building their human-powered locos.
This week's task to build man-powered trains has produced 2 wacky designs.
This is going to be ginormous.
The rugby-loving Sweet Chariots have taken on the tough challenge of building their expert Ben's hairy hamster wheel-powered loco that'll have to be seen to be believed. They were dubious at first, but now the Chariots are making good progress. Scouse is building the 2 steel wheels that will make up the giant drum, and the Chariot scavengers are all action, cutting free bearings and shafts for their drive axles.
Their opposition, the scientific super subs and gearing expert John Burrow, want to use 4 bikes to replace the power of the engine that used to drive their stripped-down Land Rover.
What do you reckon, it'll pass an MOT?
The subs had a slow scavenger. Now Graham's been sidetracked into changing their vehicle's track width so that it matches the standard rail gauge, something that Captain Steve thought wouldn't need doing.
From the centre to there, we're only an inch out.
Can you do the same on the front then?
Come on.
But now they're knuckling down as they've got some catching up to do.
Have we got a wobble bar for these?
A what, sorry?
A wobble bar or a...
Graham's flat out stripping the Landis engine to help reduce friction. But the now not so cool-headed captain's remembered something he left off his shopping list.
Mark?
Yeah?
You have a quick scavenge, see if you can get some casters, yeah?
As usual, Mark's on the case. It's these casters that'll make sure the sub's Landy doesn't come off the rails.
Over at the Chariots, there's no sign of Seaford's fearsome front row hitting the buffers. They've got a luggage loader axle, just like the subs, which they'll make into their driven axle. It already has a sprocket, and they found a really good chain.
Perfect. Well, what's going on with this end? If we have...
But there's a problem.
Oh, we're just making for some flat plates. Flat plates are going on there.
Right.
Their railway wheels are aluminium, and so can't be welded to the steel shaft. To fix this, Jay's cut out 2 steel circles, which can be welded to the shaft. With these in place...
Are you ready for this?
The wheels can be gently eased into position.
Suits you, sir.
To finish the job, Paul drills the plates and bolts them to the wheels. So now the Chariot's build is really starting to take shape. With both their giant wheels all spoked out, the team can start on the chassis.
If you tip that up to meet it, that's it. Should we just roughly line it up?
Front row forward Captain Scouse does his best to keep his team in sync.
Other way around.
Oh, some technical people.
So picky.
Details.
Somehow the Chariots entertain themselves and get a chassis that rolls.
Uh-oh, that brakes on. That don't matter.
I mean, it's got to be said, you know, when you heard what the challenge was, that it's a man-powered train, you look at the 2 teams, you look at the rugby boys, think they've got to win.
Yeah.
They're enormous. But, you know, absolutely fair dues to the super subs.
1, 2, 3.
They seem like they know what they're doing. They've got a design which I can see is going to work. I mean, my only slight concern is the wheels might come off the tracks, but they have got that classic Scrapheap thing, which is they work well together as a team.
Be it simple brute strength or slick teamwork, it's clear that when it comes to the race, both our teams are going to have to put all they've got into getting these big builds to really move.
Hey!
Our judge, Richard Gibbon, and I have come to a heritage railway to see just how tough it is for a man to move a heavy load on rails. Using his own flesh and blood version of our team's cog and chain gears, strongman Lenny Mullane is confident he can pull this very heavy old guards van. Oh, Lenny, this is a little bit worrying, you know. I mean, I've just found out that weighs 20 tons.
33.
33 tons, you've been told.
I've been told.
That's quite heavy. I mean, I know it's got wheels, but it's still big.
It is.
So what is it you have to do then to get it to move?
Very, very slow steps to start with, and you build up a momentum. It's like changing gear in a car.
Right.
You start off first gear.
So you're doing really little steps when you first
small
start.
steps,
You're not
baby
trying to do
steps.
great
No.
big. Right.
No, because basically this S09 trying to pull away in fifth gear in a car. It
Right.
just doesn't happen.
What do you reckon, Richard? Then do you reckon he can do it?
I reckon so.
Oh, you think he can? Oh,
Yes.
good. Look at the angle he's at. Yeah. Wow. He's having to keep it up, isn't it? It's not freewheeling, is it? He's pulling it all the way. That is fairly terrifyingly impressive because he clearly didn't. He couldn't just relax once it was moving. He had to keep going, didn't he?
And he was taking small steps and having to keep piling the energy in to overcome the weight.
Yeah.
And if anybody builds a really heavy vehicle,
they're going to have
they're going to have the same problem.
Right. With their heavy Land Rover chassis, it's the super subs who face the greatest weight disadvantage.
Stop!
So in the race against the Chariots, they could be very slow off the line. But by choosing to power it with off-road bikes with their very low gear ratios, they will be able to start off very slowly. Just as Lenny did when he took very small steps to get that heavy guards van rolling. Now that Mark's got those gears really meshing, his captain can weld the first bike into position.
Eyes.
For expert John, it's time to put his gearing expertise to full use and focus on connecting pedal power through to the tracks. He's fitted a sprocket to the engine's crankshaft, and now he can thread the front half of the shaft through the car and connect it to the bike-driven rolling road. For the gearing guru, it's very satisfying to see how turning the shaft will turn the cog that will turn the engine backwards.
How are we doing, John?
We were doing fine till about 2 minutes ago.
Oh.
I cannot believe it, but we've got the direction of the bike's wrong. Which is a little bit of an embarrassment.
Oh dear. It looks like the super subs have sprung a leak.
When it ran, the Land Rover's engine turned in a clockwise direction, and the subs have set their bikes to rotate in the same way. But because the rolling road reverses that direction, it'll turn the engine backwards. So to use the Land Rover's 8 forward gears, they're going to be racing backwards.
We had a change of plan.
Did you?
Partly enforced by the fact that we got it wrong. But I think on the positive side, going backwards, we've got all this in the way, we've got the carriage that side.
Yes.
Much better.
I've got no idea how much...
Oh. It's pretty free.
I'm really surprised. I thought that would be really hard to
Well, that's
turn.
because we've taken all the pistons out.
You've actually taken the pistons out?
Yep.
So while John tries to cover up the evidence, Captain Steve can get on with fixing the bikes into their original positions.
Right, just a sec, he just wants to come this way a little bit.
In fact, John's faux pas has cost the engineering graduates team little more than a dent in their pride, as their Land Rover will work almost as well rolling backwards. Thanks to this, they can keep their momentum going.
The subs may be racing in reverse, but at least they're moving. Their rivals, the Chariots, had a great scavenge, and the build slowly started to come together. But now it's stalled, as the team can't seem to agree on how those big pieces fit together.
Right, so what are we doing? Apart from standing there like idiots.
Well, let's get this.
After getting his team off to a flyer with his superb scavenging, Action Man Jay is starting to get really frustrated.
10 centimetres
Why are we worrying? Why don't we just put 2 bits more of chassis and just bolt the bike just a bit further out? What difference does it make?
Jay. You all right, mate?
I'm knackered.
How are you?
Yeah.
Has it been a long old day?
Yeah, and it's not over.
I have to say, looking slightly despondent. You know, when I looked in just now, they weren't the happiest faces.
Yeah, no, it's
so
just...
what do you think the problem is? Because to me, you know, just from here looking in, it doesn't look like you're doing too badly.
We've been doing too much talking.
Right.
Talking too much and not enough action.
But I mean, I have to say, if you get this finished, which I'm sure you will, if you get it all together and it works...
I think we should get some good speed out of it.
You know, it's going to be one of the most impressive machines we've ever had on Scrapheap.
I think it will be impressive.
You're going to be legends. Sweet Chariots going to be legends of the heap, you know. So go on, get to it, chivvy him up.
OK.
Good luck, Jay.
Cheers.
I think I might have helped a bit. He's smiling a bit more than when I went in.
Let's just do it, let's just do it. Let's stop talking about it, just say, OK, we'll do that.
With my words ringing in his ears, Jay starts to set the tempo. At last, the upright supports are in place, ready to take the steel circles, which are so heavy, even the beefy chariots need extra muscle to help.
That's it, lovely.
And when even they start to struggle, we throw everything we've got at it.
No, man.
Which isn't much.
Don't stand on me, Butty. Hit it!
You're there.
We're there.
Half inch out.
I'm scared. I want my mummy.
The chariot's dithering means they've fallen behind, and they've still got the trickiest part of the build to come, fitting their friction-driven motorbike and connecting it to the drive wheels.
This shaft has got to come out of the engine, so we've got to support this there somehow for the chain to join up.
Yeah.
We're there now.
Yeah.
I must admit, I'm amazed, Richard. Both teams went through a patch, didn't they, where it just looked like it was grinding to a halt.
And they both really had crises.
Yeah.
The subs with the machine running backwards.
Yes, that is so confusing.
Well,
it's in forward gear, but it goes backwards.
It's only like using your engine to brake on, really.
Right.
Fine.
Mechanically, it's not a problem,
it's fine.
right?
Gearbox designer can't ever go back home,
No.
I'm afraid. On the Chariots, it's all very well to draw the thing out and think 3.5 metres, that's OK, you just draw a circle on your paper. But when you see the thing, how huge it is. But they've got it together.
Yeah, I mean, it's all up there, isn't it?
It's OK. They've only got to get the gearbox in, and then they're home and dry. They've got the drive shaft. So both machines are within sight of the end.
Yeah.
I still think that we've got the best bet with the subs.
It's been a physical day for both teams with 2 big builds, but now's the time for one last push as the final countdown begins.
Teams, your attention, please. You have 1 hour remaining. 1 hour remaining, teams. Thank you.
Easy!
We can do this. Come on.
With their 4 bikes fixed into position, the supercharged subs are already on the home straight. There's just a small but important jobs left to do, like attaching those casters that'll keep the whole caboodle on the tracks. With pedal power now running through to the wheels, there's time to add a few luxurious but essential comforts.
Super subs! This looks absolutely brilliant. It looks like it properly works as well.
I'd rather think it might, you know. I'd rather think it might work.
Are you happy with how it's gone? Are you happy with what you've got?
It's excellent. Yeah, I think I've done really well, I think. Couldn't ask for a better team and brilliant.
You could ask for a better team. You feel all proud?
I do. The boys have done me proud today, they really are.
While the subs are serene, the chariots are struggling. The giant hamster wheel is all but done, but they've only just finished the shaft that will connect their motorbike to the drive wheels. But with that done, they can at last get that bike into position.
That's it. You can go on it and then we can slide it.
It's looking good. It's looking nearly there. Literally, all you've got to do now is mount the bike in and connect it to... This is your drive rod down to the... I didn't realise you got all that done. That's brilliant. Have you been... You haven't stood in it yet to see what it's like?
Oh, I have.
Have you?
And it moves as well.
I bet it does, yeah. I don't even think about brakes. I think it's just... Oh, you just walk the other way?
Yeah. Just jump off, I think. That's what we're going to do.
Yeah.
Mind your arms, guys.
For the Sweet Chariots, it's all a bit too rushed. Despite all the components being in roughly the right position, they've yet to attach the motorbike to their driven axle, and it'll need a miracle for them to finish.
bike's moving off. The whole bike's going over.
But it does look scary. Somehow the safety cage on the Chariots machine makes it look scarier.
Yeah.
I think.
Safety as
really
in more
can't get it.
dangerous. Yeah, you're trapped.
They've got the motorbike fitted on with, you know, which is what the big wheel drives, the little wheel of the motorbike. And it doesn't go any further than that at the moment. At the moment, they've got a big machine that will spin the motorbike quite fast.
And that's
all.
it?
Yeah, it doesn't do anything else.
So they're not actually propelled forward along some rails at the moment. I've got to say, Super Subs, I've been forced to eat my words. You know, they're virtually finished.
Yeah.
The bikes are all beautifully
Aren't they?
lined
Isn't
up.
that, doesn't it look great? Yeah.
And it looks really good. They've got the little casters to stop them sliding
Have
on.
they? I haven't seen that.
But no, I think it is going to be one of those tests that you really want to see because it should be exciting because it's head-to-head and it should look completely hilarious.
And also, it's safe because they can't crash into each other if they stay on the tracks.
Ooh.
It's Easy Street in the Subs Bay. While Mark tweaks the bikes, his teammates discuss adding some fashionable features to their rail racer.
We could pimp it, we could lower it and...
Spinners. Yeah, spinner alloys.
There's not much to swing about in the Chariots Bay. It's too late to connect their drive, and they're going to be very busy at Tinker Time tomorrow.
OK, teams, your time is up. This train terminates here. Please do not leave any personal baggage on board. It's the end of the line for you today.
Oh, yes, and I hope you've saved some energy for tomorrow, because you're going to be going bumper to bumper in a mighty muscle train showdown!
Yes!
Well done, team!
Well done, team. Top bill. Brilliant.
This could be seriously misplaced confidence.
It's been an eventful build, and it's produced two machines that are going to push their teams to the limit when they race them tomorrow.
Will the Super Subs be able to pedal themselves onto the podium in their machine of many gears?
Or will it be a sweet victory for the Chariots with a hairy ride in their frightening Ferris wheel?
Yesterday, our team slogged themselves silly building brilliant rail-going muscle machines that need to be not only fleet of foot, but have the grunt to shunt.
I hope they've been down the gym recently because our teams will be racing side by side on our twin-track rail raceway.
Race 1 will be a flat-out 100-metre sprint. But in race 2, they'll be tested to the limit as they haul a 4-ton payload of soggy sand. The first team across the finish line will be the winners. Down at the sheds, the teams are in a tinkering frenzy. The Subs have guide wheel issues, while the Chariots sort out their gearing.
Now we've seen the machines sort of ready to go, and you can see that they've changed a little bit. They've had to do quite a bit of tinkering on them now they've seen the rails, haven't they?
The Subs machine has now altered in the sense that they've got different guide wheels at the front end in order that they can get through some of the point work here on the site. And that's given them a few problems, but I don't think it's changed the basic fact that they've got a heavy machine which has all these gears, which will pull the weight, I'm quite sure.
Right.
But I think sprinting is going to be more like walking.
Right.
But on the other hand, the Chariots, they've altered what they've done because before, the gearing was making them far too high geared and they'd never have been able to get started. So what's happened now is that they've put these 2 additional reductions, which has brought it to 1/9 of what they had before.
It's quite a big challenge we've thrown at them. Just a muscle-powered train. It's not a big problem. Get on and do it. And actually, it's really complicated. They have done it.
They've done it.
Yeah, which
and
is
let's
amazing.
see who wins.
Yeah.
Sweet Chariot hamsters. Now, tell me, what is this with all the beer hanging in front here?
Incentive.
Do hamsters traditionally like beer?
These ones do.
Yeah,
That's for sure.
All right, good luck, Sweet Chariots. See you at the other end.
Thank you.
Super Subs, here we go. You all on your bikes? Are you raring to go?
Oh, yeah. Definitely. Oh, yeah. We're going to beat the hamsters.
Are you? That's what I like to hear, a bit of competitive spirit. Good luck, Super Subs.
Thanks, Will.
Good luck, Sweet Chariots. I shall see you at the other end.
The moment has come. Race 1 is a no-nonsense, flat-out sprint. We'll time the difference between the winners and the losers. The winners will then be given this time as a head start for round 2, the haulage race.
Lisa to Robert, we've got 2 quite nervous teams here. Well, the Super Subs are certainly nervous. I think the Sweet Chariots are just thirsty. Are you ready?
We're all ready to throw the signal up here, Lise. We'll go on your command.
OK. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
OK, Richard, throw the signal.
Go! Go! Go!
And they're off. They're definitely off.
Ooh, and the super subs seem to be edging into an early lead.
25!
It's a disaster for the subs. Mark's chain has slipped off.
We've got it. Keep the pace and slow it.
They're a man down while he tries to fix it, and it's letting the chariots catch up.
Nice and steady in its L. Nice and steady.
Oh, well, that hamster wheel's working.
It is working really well.
They're just past halfway, and Mark's got his chain back on. Now the subs are back to full power.
It is absolutely neck and neck.
There's nothing in it.
Go back, come on! Big sprint!
They're slightly in the lead. The subs are in the lead now. The subs are definitely in the lead.
About 2 metres in the lead.
Keep going. Finish it.
When are they over?
Oh my God, I'm gonna die!
3 seconds, 3.25 seconds. 3.25 seconds.
So that's the handicap. Well done.
Thought we had you there.
Brilliant. Well done, guys. Good work.
Super subs! I was exhausted just watching that.
Yeah.
It was so close.
Yeah, you could just see in front, and it was just like this.
We had the lead at halfway, I think.
Yeah.
We did have the lead.
But are you optimistic for the next round?
Of course.
Yeah.
You've got it all to do.
That's only half a race so far.
Exactly.
It's not over till the fat lady sings.
And I'm not singing yet. Good luck for the next round.
Cheers, mate.
That was actually not what we anticipated. We anticipated that the hamster wheel would go faster.
Yes.
Now, in fact, the subs have the advantage with pulling power, and it's going to be very interesting now to see what happens.
So they've
but
won
on the
at
other
the moment.
hand,
Yeah.
they're not as fit
No.
as the rugby players.
Robert, that looked incredibly close. How close was it?
It was actually 3 seconds, Lee. So I'll chuck the clock down. There you go.
Right, let's get them off for the next one.
Okay, jolly good.
For the haulage round, both teams will be pulling 4 tons of soggy sand and a brakeman for safety. The Sweet Chariots have put Big Ben in the cage as Captain Scouse takes the controls. But will it be enough to catch the Super Subs after their 3-second head start?
Super subs, you'll go on the green signal. Sweet Chariots, you'll go on my signal. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Pull the lever.
3, 2, 1. Go!
Go, Seaford, let's go, boys!
Those super subs seem to be making light work of that sand.
They're fine. They're absolutely fine. It was almost as if there was no weight there.
Well, this is where the extra power and the right gear is helping them, but they're going to tire.
Scouse is powering his charging chariots on, and they're closing the gap.
The chariots are charging around the hamster wheel like madmen. Are they gaining? I can't quite tell if they're gaining.
I think the super subs are slowing up and the Sweet Chariots are speeding up.
They are catching up.
They're tiring on the subs now.
The subs have to dig deep now.
Come on!
From somewhere, they find a last burst of energy.
Come on!
It looks like the chariots have peaked too early and have nothing left to give.
75! We've done it in the bag! Come on!
And now the subs can ride the human-powered train to glory.
And here they come across the line.
I think the subs have it. I think it's fair to say.
As the subs celebrate, the chariots bravely scrape over the line in their disorientating express.
The Super Subs may be on the floor, but they can stand proud of building a mighty machine that could fly like a Scotsman and pull, well, like a train.
I don't think I've ever seen two teams look more exhausted when they finished a test. but there has to be a runner-up. So please give it up for Sweet Chariots! Well done!
Hey. Well done, guys. Well done. But without question, even though they were going, hey, hey, at the end, fantastic effort, guys. Super subs, you win this week. Well done, guys. Well done.
Hey!
Oh, lovely. Oh, delicious. And catch a ride with Scrapheap Challenge again next week when 2 more willing teams will be vying for victory. We'll see you then.
3 Suffolk builders take on a trio of West Country cabbies in what promises to be one of our coolest challenges ever. Both teams will go hell for leather to turn rusty refuge into super slick snowmobiles. Don't miss it, it's smashing!